Most people have no idea that the fastest doorway to enlightenment is hidden inside the very thing that we fear most: sin. Today, I'm going to show you why the most radical mystical traditions believed that salvation requires breaking the rules, and why desire, not purity, is the catalyst of awakening. You've been told your whole life, be good, be pure, play by the rules. Goodness saves, desire corrupts, sin destroys. And most people never question it. But what if I told you that across Judaism, Christianity, Tantra, poetry, and psychology, sin wasn't the fall, it was the portal? What if the forbidden didn't separate you from God, but led you to the true self? I've studied mystical traditions across cultures. Every tradition, Kabbalah, Gnosticism, Tantra, Western mysticism, psychology, and the modern occult all discovered the same hidden truth. Breaking boundaries dissolves shame, and dissolving shame reveals the divine. And to understand this, we begin with the Jewish mystics who risked everything. In the 1600s, a Jewish mystic named Sabbatai Zevi declared himself the Messiah. But his real heresy was this: he declared that in the coming age of redemption, good and evil would invert, and sin itself would become sacred. The Sabbateans believed that violating Jewish law didn't break redemption, it accelerated it. Then came the Dönmeh, the underground sect who followed Sabbatai into Islam, practicing inverted Judaism in the shadows. They believed transgression shattered the ego, and the soul's divine spark became visible. The Dönmeh took this further. To them, sin was not indulgence, it was excavation. Each inversion freed a spark, liberating sacred desire buried beneath conditioning. Their rituals confronted guilt, purity, inherited moralism, and ancestral shame, not to defile the soul, but to liberate it. This is the root of the mystical understanding of sacred sin. Shame is the prison. Transgression is the tool. Your buried desire is the spark of God trying to return home. But the Sabbateans weren't alone. Another ancient movement saw sin the same way and encoded it in myth. Gnostics saw the Garden of Eden very differently. To them, the serpent wasn't a deceiver, he was the liberator. The fruit wasn't forbidden, it was consciousness. Sin wasn't rebellion, it was awakening. The Gnostics believed Adam and Eve were trapped in the demiurge's illusion. Eating the fruit was the first act of spiritual defiance, breaking the spell of ignorance and igniting the flame of desire and self-awareness. The divine spark is trapped in matter, and only inversion breaks the shell. Gnosticism revealed that sin, when done consciously, is not the rejection of God, but the reclamation of the divine spark within. And across the world, another tradition built its entire Enlightenment system around the same principle. In India, a tantric practice used taboo, impurity, and forbidden substances as vehicles for liberation. Tantric adepts deliberately confronted fear, shame, lust, death, and impurity. They meditated in cremation grounds. They used substances banned by religious law. They broke ritual purity codes, not to indulge, but to transcend conditioning. When the initiate confronts what they fear most, the bind of shame dissolves, identity cracks, and consciousness expands. Tantra proves a universal law. The parts of you you've been taught to fear are the parts holding your power. But the West had its own mystic who discovered this same truth and expressed it with fire. William Blake, the Christian mystic of the 1700s, believed that the sacred hides beneath the forbidden. He created the Infernal method, a process of burning away the apparent surfaces of morality, propriety, and social conditioning to reveal the divine reality underneath. Blake used inversion as medicine, praising the devil to expose hypocrisy, sanctifying desire to reveal its divinity, attacking moralism to free the imagination. He insisted that the road of excess leads to the place of wisdom, not because excess is holy, but because it burns away the false self, revealing sacred desire, the fire of universal creation. Blake's insight was the poetic version of Sabbateism, the Dönmeh alchemy, Tantric transgression, and Gnostic rebellion. The forbidden melts the mask, the fire reveals the divine. Then psychology entered the scene and proved all this scientifically. Freud discovered the superego, the internalized voice of society and authority. And Jung revealed that the superego creates the shadow, everything you repress because you fear judgment. When you repress lust, rage, ambition, creativity, rebellion, longing, you exile the very energy meant to shape your destiny. Jung noticed that breakthroughs occur when a person crosses a forbidden psychological boundary consciously. When they step into taboo, the superego cracks, the shadow emerges, the ego expands, and individuation begins. Psychology revealed the engine behind every mystical tradition. You cannot become whole while you are obeying a voice that isn't yours. And modern occultism turned this psychological truth into ritual. Modern occultism, such as the Draconian current, is not devil worship. It is psychodrama designed to shatter conditioning. Ritual inversion uses taboo symbols, forbidden language, reversed prayers, shadow invocation, and ecstatic release to collapse the superego and liberate the true will. This is simply the modern expression of Sabbatean inversion, Gnostic rebellion, Tantric transgression, and the Jungian shadow integration, all pointing to one truth. Sin, practiced intentionally, is the catalyst that frees the soul from its psychic cage. So you've been shown the Sabbateans redeemed the world through sin. The Dönmeh excavated the divine spark from the Qliphoth. The Gnostics treated transgression as awakening. The Tantrics used taboo as freedom. The psychologists cracked the superego through shadow, and the Draconians used ritual psychodrama to liberate the true will, all pointing to one revelation. The forbidden is not evil, it is the doorway to the self. You were never meant to fear your desire. You were meant to follow it to its source, to the divine spark waiting to return home. So if something awakened inside you watching this, it's because the part of you that was exiled is ready to be rediscovered. So if you liked this video, follow this channel for more content like this, and also join my community where I share exclusive transmissions and I offer live Q&A sessions, and also get early access to an awakening course that will be coming soon.